Hello, I'm Ruth Squitieri, and I would like to show you today what you can expect when you take my pen and ink class. We're going to go over materials. They're very minimal. We're going to do some techniques. There are plenty of techniques, and they're all fun to do. And projects, I will do a lot of demos. You can copy those, or you can take those as a jumping off board for your own projects and ideas. So let's get started. The materials are really, really simple and easy. You probably have everything already in your art supply kit. A couple of pens, microliners. They are waterproof. They have to have waterproof ink for this to work. And a pencil, eraser, definitely no ruler. The wobblier your lines and the more crooked they are, the better it actually is. So this will be great fun for everybody. The paper that I would like for you to have is this here from Canson. It's watercolor paper and it's really, really versatile. It takes the watercolor washes really easy and the pen lines look really great on it. This is probably the size that you would want to get. This is a 9 by 12. If you want to do 11 by 14, that's fine too. 8 by 10 would work too, because our sketches are really small. They're going to be cute and whimsical, so this is a good size. Plenty of workspace. And then in regards to color, watercolor is the best, and not in the tubes, in the pans. So this is my watercolor kit, the travel kit that I take in my purse or in my bag when we travel and I want to do a quick sketch. This is from Winsor Newton. Anyone really goes, any brand would really be fine. Again, these are pans, very limited color and a little mixing palette, but that's plenty for traveling. If you know that you're going to do a lot of painting from photos, you probably want to have a little bit more room. You want to have a studio palette. This is for me when I use it with photos. It has a whole bunch more colors and a lot of room to mix your paints with. So this will work really good. If you have markers, those are great. A lot of sketchers use markers, but you don't really get some of those effects that I'm going to be talking about. So watercolor is the best. You can use acrylics, you can use gouache, you can use the watercolor in the tubes, but again, the watercolor in the pan is really the best for our effect. So hopefully you have all that already in your kit. You don't have to have anything special to buy. So let's get started. The techniques, we're going to go over how to do the lines, how to hold your pen to get a certain effect, how to splash your color around. It's a lot of fun. You basically just drop in your color and see what it does. It does its own thing with the blending and you do some spattering. Really cool things. For the projects, I will do a lot of demos. So you will see them, 10-minute demos, and then you can copy them, do the same thing, or do your own technique in a different subject. So some of the things that are really easy. This is something when I started, it was just a scene of my backyard, and I just drew that in like half an hour sitting right there. And here's another one in my sketchbook. This is one of my early travel sketches. This was in Italy. It's the San Marco Square. And I actually tinted my paper with burnt sienna. And then I painted over it with gouache. But you can see the pen lines, and that's really what makes it all very lively. So as you can see already with 2 drawings, different techniques are everywhere. Everybody will have a different hand, how to hold the pen, how to make the lines. So it'll be really interesting to see what you all come up with. And I always learn a lot from you guys. And the more people, the better it is, because everybody learns from each other. Everybody feeds on each other. We'll have so many ideas. It'll be a lot of fun. Here's another idea to do, a project. When I do my travel sketches, I actually do the map of where we went so you can see and I can explain it better. The maps are really fun to do. You can turn it into a little pirate treasure map for your grandkids. Lots of fun to do maps. You don't always have to put color on these sketches. If you want to have an old world feel, this is one where I just did the pen and ink and then I left it alone. No color at all, but it gives it a very old feeling. And then just to move on the other page, different technique, a little bit more exact, and I added watercolor. So 2 scenes from Spain. Here's another one that is from Ireland. Again, just the pen and ink lines and just a little shading, just a little gray marker on top, and immediately you get that 3D effect, and it looks very substantial, and the subject has presence. So those are really easy to do. Here's another one that I actually fleshed out in like 2 hours. This is a street scene, a market square in Germany. This took me quite a while to do, but again, I started just with the pen and ink lines and then just colored it in with the watercolor. You can see the composition is pretty fleshed out. I mean, it's very thought out how the chimneys come out of the frame. You will learn all that. We were going to do some very interesting framing, how to frame your artwork with lines or even with text. Speaking of text, we're going to learn a little bit calligraphy, how to improve your hand lettering and incorporate it into your illustrations and make it look more interesting. One of the projects or the homework that I'm going to give you is to illustrate a recipe. Here's an example. Starts over here. So you have some text, you know, the steps of making the bread, the header, and then some of the ingredients. So you have illustration with text, and you want to make sure that you lay it out really nice on the page. Here's another one. So to make it interesting for the viewer, not only to read the recipe, but just a visual experience of how this recipe is actually laid out. You can see the ingredients and what the recipe is called, and then some of the steps. And you can incorporate all that with your own handwriting, little fancy calligraphy, and voila, you got it. And we're going to do a lot of things like that can be turned very easily into great gift ideas for Christmas or a wedding gift full of your recipes. Wouldn't that be a great idea? You guys always have great ideas. That recipe idea came actually from one of my students. So I'm going to incorporate that too. Here's a technique. Painting on colored paper. This is on gray paper, and I was just using pen and ink, a little white gouache, basically white poster paint, and you already got a very substantial subject right there, and it looks very effective. And then I just discovered a new technique that I'm really excited to teach you guys and show you how to do it. It really exaggerates the whimsical effect of the pen and ink and the splashes, the colors. You just let them do their own thing. You just drop them onto the page. These are some mailboxes, again, with a little text on top, the slogan of the U.S. Postal Service. Very whimsical. Here's one that is 1950s Americana. You can see how the lines are really wobbly. I mean, there's not a single straight line. So anybody can do this. Lots of fun. You can see the spatter of the watercolors. The colors are not really realistic, so you can do anything you want. I'm going to teach you how to harmonize the colors so they look good together, which colors to choose, which ones to avoid, how to get those really nice blacks that you can see in the windows and the shadows, to tie that all together. Here's another one of my favorite subject, European architecture. This is from Germany. You can see wobbly lines. The perspective is very whimsical. The colors are just so much fun and energy. You can tell I had fun drawing this. And hopefully you have fun looking at it. And just to prove that you don't have to paint a lot of architecture in this class, again, you can do a couple of apples or your pet or anything you want. This is a horse-drawn carriage that I did. Again, lots of fun. You know, the colors are not super important, but again, it conveys that message that it's a fun subject and it was fun to draw. So these are kind of the things that we're going to go over. And again, the more people, the better. We're all going to feed off each other, give each other ideas, share our materials, because everybody's going to have something a little different. There are so many nice, cool things out there that you can order and get off, you know, online right away. So I am excited for the class and I hope to see you soon. Great. Thanks.